Hello everyone, welcome to Witchy Wednesdays with Seaside Shadows Haunted History Tours. I'm Sunshiny Star, your hostess this evening. Today I'd like to speak to you about a very special holiday called Hogmanay. Hogmanay, you say? What is Hogmanay? Well, Hogmanay is the celebration that they have in Scotland for the Yuletide. And it goes from December 31st until January 2nd. Those Scottish like to party, I'd say. So let's talk about Hogmanay and what that actually means. Where did it come from? Why is it only celebrated December 31st through January 2nd? Why is that the traditional Yuletide for the Scottish? Well, let's go back in time a little bit to the 7th and 8th centuries when the Vikings decided to invade parts of Scotland and brought with them their customs of celebrating the solstice. They would celebrate for approximately 12 days, and they brought this tradition to the Scottish people. So they became adopting the traditions of the Nordic peoples and began to party hardy just like the Vikings. This is where the tradition of the 12 days of Christmas actually originates, is 12 days of partying. Now, in modern times, that partying has cut down to 3 days, but still, even here in America, couldn't we all use another day to recover from New Year's Eve? So the Scottish have made this happen. So Hogmanay also is a time that we need to remember that the Scottish people weren't always allowed to celebrate Christmas, and that is how this holiday began to be their Yuletide, and coordinating up with the Norse and Viking Yuletide celebrations as well. In fact, from the 17th century until 1950, Christmas was outlawed in Scotland as part of the Protestant Reformation. If you were even caught making a mincemeat pie, you could be arrested just for celebrating. So they began to move their celebration all the way to the 31st and have it go till the 2nd. Now, there are a few traditions that go along with Hogmanay, which I will tell you about this evening. One of them is very similar to what we spoke about during Spooky Sunday Stories with Lucy, the Nordic witch, which is that in Scotland, if you're following your traditions, that you must have everything cleaned up in your house before the bell tolls on the 31st. They call this redding out the house. And this simply means tidying up, organizing, paying off your debts, and starting with a very clean slate for the new year. Another tradition that the Scottish people have is at the stroke of midnight on the 31st, people gather and they sing Old Lang Syne. Old Lang Syne is a song that was adopted from a poem written by Robert Burns, the Scottish poet. If anyone is familiar with Burns Night, this is where we have gotten this from, is Mr. Robert Burns, the very famous Scottish poet. Now, this song was originally overheard by him from a villager, and he just loved the tune and wrote down the words, changed them a little bit, but used the tune. So this is a very traditional Scottish tune. And in fact, it is meant to wash away the sins of the past and to bring in the new year with your friends and family. In fact, oftentimes the group of people celebrating will cross arms and hold each other's hands until the very end when they all rush in to celebrate the coming in of the new year. Also, while you're redding out your house in olden days, you were to sweep out your hearth especially. And there were some traditions in Scotland in which the female of the house could take, well, the matriarch of the house, there might be more than one female. So the matriarch of the household would take some of the ashes that were swept from the hearth and tossed them in such a way that they could tell whether the new year coming would bring good luck or bad luck for them. Heaven help them if it was bad luck. I think mostly they normally saw good luck coming, but it could sometimes indicate some trouble spots to look out for, such as sickness or problems with their crops. Another tradition of Hogmanay that is very interesting to me in particular is this idea of using wish water. Wish water. Wish water is to be gathered from a stream where the bridge that goes over the stream is both crossed by the living and the dead. Now, where could this be? This could be a bridge over a body of water that leads right into a graveyard. So it is Scottish tradition that you would gather this water and drink it on the new year, and also go out and bless not only your house, your cattle, your pets, your land. All of this was to be blessed with this wish water. And in fact, by drinking the water as well, you were to also be prepared for some good luck and allow the water to purify you. I kind of like that idea, and I'm going to be searching that out before the 31st. So this is another tradition that has got its roots in the pagan traditions and that we often bring forward into our current lifetimes. There's another tradition with Hogmanay called First Foot. First Foot is about having whoever it is that crosses your hearth first, your door hearth first, hearth and home. The person who crosses your doorway first on the New Year's Day of January 1 is supposed to be the person who will bring you the good luck for the rest of the year. So you want to be very careful who that person is. Nowadays, a lot of times, exactly midnight, both of the doors and the home will be open, front and back, and the man of the house will run out the back door and come in the first front door to be the first foot, and bringing with him traditionally a piece of coal, some whiskey, some salt, and a sweet cake. And these are supposed to bring good luck. Another tradition is that with First Foot, you would like this gentleman to be dark-haired. Dark-haired, why? Perhaps hearkening back to a time in the villages where you did not want to see a blonde Nordic Viking with an axe. That would not be good luck for the new year if you were living in the Scotland era during the time in which the Vikings were invading. So traditionally, it is considered better luck to have a dark-haired man crossing your doorstep for First Foot. Another tradition that is carried out, and I think it's across the board in every pagan tradition and in every form of spirituality, is a way of cleansing your home from any bad spirits during a new year. You want to get rid of the old and bring in the new. Now, in Scotland now, during this time of celebration in Edinburgh, you'll see fireworks like you would not ever believe. Just very insane fireworks. And these fireworks are representational of the bonfires that people would burn during this time to scare away the evil spirits. And in fact, in Scottish villages, influenced again by the Norsemen, are tales of people who would set afire the hides of animals wrapped around sticks to create a torch of sorts. And then they would begin to spin these torches to scare away any and all bad spirits. Now, I do enjoy a good fire, and I thought of creating a beautiful bonfire this evening with my old Christmas tree, but then I thought this could get out of hand. So if you're going to play with fire, please be very careful. during this time. Another tradition for cleaning out the house, not just physically, but spiritually, is by having the whole house cleaned from top to bottom, everything organized. And then on New Year's Day, the female in the house, the matriarch, is to take some juniper berry branches that are dried and set them on fire and go around the house the way that you would do the cleansing of a house with a bundle of sage. The same principle here. Now the door was left closed until everyone in the house began to cough and sneeze, or I don't know, maybe pass out from all of the smoke. And at that moment, it was known that the house was clean, and then all the windows and the doors would be open to let in the cold, fresh air of New Year's Day. So a lot of this tradition does go back to our pagan roots and is influenced again by the church on the way up to modern times. And even now in Scotland, many people work through the holiday of Christmas and celebrate Yule, which again was created by the Vikings. And this is all about the partying. After the lady of the house has cleansed the house with juniper berries, it is tradition to have the family each have a tiny dram of whiskey and then sit down to a very big Scottish breakfast. I hope that you've enjoyed the tale of Hogmanay, and I have lit my tiny little inside bonfire this evening because I thought maybe I could impress you with my outdoor bonfire, but thought against it. I think I will film that at another time and share it with you folks. Happy New Year, everyone.